Here we are at Betting on Sports America conference in the Meadowlands with Danielle Boyd from William Hill. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Danielle, quick question. The hype and the buzz here is legalized sports gambling. The question is, for you, should it even be legalized?
Well, I think absolutely. I mean, when you're dealing with a program like sports betting and incorporating that into state-by-state policy and regulation, I think it's important to remember that this is already going on. There's a prolific black market in the United States that has built up over the last 25 years because of PASPA and a federal law that prevented states from coming in and determining what was the best policy to regulate sports in their state. And so with that, I think certainly providing a regulated channel that will allow for state tax revenues to fund important programs in states, but also, even more important than that, provide consumer protections for people who are already betting is absolutely critical.
So what's the counter argument? Why should we not legalize it?
You know, obviously there are certain interest groups that, or a certain moral opposition to gambling, I think, in general. But really, I don't think that there's a sound argument here because there's obviously so much of this already going on that allowing for consumer protections and allowing for a regulated channel and making sure that states can allow for responsible gaming monitoring and put those different things in place, I think that that's very important in this situation.
William Hill's out in front of this market. What are you hearing as far as negative feedback in regard to legal sports betting?
I don't know that we've heard much negative feedback in regards to legal sports betting. I don't think that as far as any state that might not have legalized sports betting, again, one of the problems with the black market is that it's underground. And so, as far as bringing it out into the open, I've really only seen personally enthusiasm about the idea that people in states that are already viewing sports, that want to engage in sports, can now place legal wagers in their states.
What's the danger of the black market?
The danger of the black market is there's many dangers really there. There's no consumer protection. The people who are operating aren't paying taxes, and so we can't protect the players who are placing bets in that sense.
What do you see moving forward for the next year in regard to legislation?
I think it's going to be a really exciting time. We've seen a lot of activity this week out of Indiana and Iowa, and there's many other states that are considering. I think there'll be a rush in the next couple years, a race to the finish line. So.
When does Texas come online?
We'll see.
How about California?
Those are two states that I think might be a little bit down the road.
Everybody keeps asking.
Yeah, so.
Well, before we say farewell, any final words for those listening?
Well, I think this has been a tremendous day. There's a lot of talent here, and it's really been a good conference so far.
Thank you.